I think we're live. Hello everybody. Instead of coding interviews as every Thursday, today I'm taking part in CodinGame Fall Challenge. This is... And whose video do we have here? My video is even mentioned in the statement, but I'm not author of the problem. I'm just one of participants. There is a contest. I will participate by writing a program that will be run against programs made by other participants. So a bot tournament, or game tournament for bots, however you want to call it. There are several leagues. We start in Wood 2 league, then there is Wood 1, then Bronze, Silver. I don't know if Silver is unlocked yet. Once every few days they open a new league with new, more complicated rules. First challenge for you, the chat, is who will be first to recognize what board game is this game based on. Because this will be game based on a board game. Do I want to go full screen? I guess. I remember that last time, so like a year ago, in the previous CodinGame tournament, I used F12 to just remove a bunch of stuff here because there's so much unnecessary stuff. It's so polluted. I will put my face, I guess, right here. Will that be fine? It seems so. Then I can increase the font here and you see everything. Fine now? What happens if we go full screen? Well, for full screen I will want to move my face away. But we can live with that. You usually don't see my white camera. It's just cut. What's the game? Yeah, I will cover the rules first. I had a head start compared to other participants because organizers gave me access earlier, so I could make an introductory video. You can watch it here. It's just like a 2-minute summary of what is going on, and then just sample modification for this default code. So I already know the problem. I didn't read through it all. I just know what we need to do. But for that, first, let's go here full screen and I will describe to you the rules. Right here. Right now, this is a game between two bots made by organizers. And what they do is they have some inventory. Like the left one right now has 3 blue, 1 green, 1 orange. At the bottom, there are recipes for potions. And for example, if you have 5 orange resources, you can use them and you will get 10 gold for it, or like 10 price, the number of points. And plus 1 bonus, whatever that means. And you have some tools to create resources. They are called spells, but they are only in the second league. If we hit play my code, because that was game between two bots made by organizers. If we hit play my code, now my program is on the left, and this is simplified game because it's the first division, the first league. And organizers beat me by a lot because my bot does nothing. Again, at the bottom we have a list of possible recipes. And yeah, I can, for example, for 1 orange resource or like 1 yellow resource, get the score of 20. Let's see what my opponent does. They buy the first potion. They create the first potion for green and yellow resource, and for that they will get 14 points. Yeah, they got 14 points. The game ends after 2 potions being made, or if one player makes 2 potions. In this league, it's very simple because we don't need to create resources. We start with plenty. I will read the full statement together with you, but first I just want to beat this boss. And the very bottom of the statement they say to make an action, you need to print brew and ID, where ID is ID of potion you want to create. So at the bottom of code, this brew zero does nothing. Instead, I will put ID here. Now my program will print brew and ID. Just I need to choose this ID. And this is a for loop to read possible potions to make. They are described with resources, with the reward in points, but also some other stuff that will be useful in leaks to come. The most important thing for me is action ID. Let's start with just overwriting every time. ID is action ID. Play my code. And I believe that now my program will always choose the last potion. Yeah, like that. And again. Luckily I won, but I think it's a coincidence, and sometimes if I replay, sometimes I will lose. How can we participate? You can use link from the description. No, it's a type. Basically, or you can just Google Fall Challenge 2020 and it will be there. Also, I can submit. This yellow button, Testing Arena, in most platforms it's usually just called submit, that sends my code to run against other people, real people, and I place in the leaderboard. Basically, against any good code I will lose if they do anything smart, because I always do the last potion and they are not sorted by price. And what else? In last battles I can view matches. For example, this is match against somebody and I lost this match. I lost 33 to 36. And it's good to view those last battles to learn better strategy. Right now I don't care because I know my program is very stupid. So a very simple thing will be, if the reward is better than the best reward so far, then overwrite. This is, I do that even without reading the full statement, without caring what other parameters are, without caring about my resources, because I have plenty. We start with best. Price means reward. Price being 0. Let's play my code. Right now my code will always choose the best potion, the one giving most points, and you can see from those visualizations that actually we always have enough resources, or almost always. That's good enough. Sometimes maybe I will lack some resources at the end and I will lose, but it will be very rare. Yeah, 33 to 25. Let's submit this again. And this time I believe I will rank high enough that I will advance to the next league, and then real things happen. Because I will need to create resources. Before I do that, I will, together with you, read the whole statement. Isn't it illegal to stream this contest? It's ongoing, right? Yes, it is ongoing and you can participate, but it is legal and even encouraged by organizers. You will not win this contest thanks to watching the stream, because I'm not going to spend here 20 hours live and show my final code. But several hours will not hurt. If you want to win such a competition, you need to spend at least 2-3 days, full days, thinking, coding, refactoring. There are some hard techniques I will discuss, but I will not show them. The point is to make this educational. Yes, I'm climbing up the leaderboard. If you click live here, you will see all the people streaming this right now. So the website, it's built in that it supports streamers. Organizers actually ask around in advance if people want to stream the game. And there is a calendar with streams. Yeah, the streams are educational and they attract users to CodinGame, like Gupta said. This happened also in some standard contest several months ago. Endagorion streamed ICPC optimization challenge, if you remember that. Where am I? How to check that? History is for my list of submissions. Whenever I click test in arena, in bottom right, my code is saved. Last battles is to show last battles, and also it seems that slowly, oh yeah, battles in progress 50%. Once this gets to 100%, I should get place I deserve, and I believe that will be somewhere at the top. Sometimes there is a draw, sometimes I win, but I don't see any game where I lost. I got your video when I entered the tournament. Yeah, I did that a few days ago. Sonorgon is also streaming. For sure, if somebody does CodinGame by default every day, then they will also stream this thing. I will stream today for around 2 or 3 hours. Okay, the battles are going on. I expect to get to next league in a few minutes, so let's read the statement. I will make this bigger. Oh, I can also do this, not more than that. The goal of the game is to end with more rupees than your opponent. It's more red money. Potion shop. 2 twin sister witches are trying to prove they are better potion brewer. They have set up a contest. Make more rupees selling potions than your sister. However, the witches' hut in which they set up shop is quite small, so they must share the same workspace and deal with the same client orders. Whoever fulfills an order, so spends those resources, they get money from client, this potion isn't available anymore. If I grab something, my opponent cannot. It isn't really important in the first league because we just both take the most expensive one to get biggest prize. Later it will be important, where you need to spend several turns creating resources, and then it will be a waste of time if your opponent grabs something before you. New statement for higher league, updated statement. Every new statement, it has some changes and they are highlighted. 90% of statement stays the same. New stuff appears. Each witch has access to their own inventory of potion ingredients. It's this thing at the top, like 10 spots. Now 3 orange, 1 green, 1 blue. Each client order is a list of ingredients required to brew a potion and earn some rupees. The game is played over several rounds. Each player performs one action each turn, simultaneously. If they choose the same potion, both will get it. There are 4 tiers of ingredient, indexed from 0 to 3. Higher tier ingredients are typically necessary in more expensive potion recipes, but they take longer to acquire. Blue will be most common, then green, and so on. Yellow should be the most rare. Each witch starts with a full inventory of 10 ingredients, but this will change in next league. I already know that because I saw the previous league 2 days ago. And yes, that part is a head start and it's not fair for other participants. But also I'm starting today 1 hour later. It doesn't matter in the long run. Submission time doesn't matter. The inventory is represented by some array. The count of each type of ingredient needed or present in inventory. Also, promotion to 1 league. Apparently, if I go to leaderboard, I should be now at the top, I believe. Last battles. I'm 24th. So okay. There are for sure a lot of ties. I'm still going up. And in 5 seconds, I will be moved to the next league. Will it be automatic? Maybe not. Strange. Let's finish reading the statement. For this league, you must brew 2 potions from the list of client orders. The which, having earned the most rupees, wins. Client orders have a delta. Oh, you've made it to the next leak. Now you can now cast spells to transform a set of ingredients into another. See the updated statement. To get rare resource, we need to spend some other resources. Continue. Is my code saved? Yes, it wasn't erased. And now changes are highlighted in green. You can now cast spells to acquire new ingredients. See the updated statement. Let's go through the beginning again. Highlighted in green. And a list of spells they have learned. These spells can be used to turn a certain set of ingredients into another. Each client order is a list of ingredients required to brew a potion and earn some rupees. This time inventory can contain up to 10 ingredients. Before it was exactly 10, each which starts with 3 tier 1 ingredients in their inventory. We start with 3 blue. And I didn't read further. But I can hit play code to run my program again, whatever I had here on the right already. Still, it will be program trying to brew the most expensive potion. Sadly, I don't have enough resources for it, so I'm not making anything. I'm on the left and my opponent does something. They will win. Sometimes instead of brewing, actually most of the time, I should use a spell. Spells are listed on the side. In one turn I can add 2 blue resources or change blue to green, green to orange, orange to yellow. Takes 1 turn to create 2 blue resources, additional 1 to create green from 1 blue. Would be nice to, maybe later, it would be nice to write down the number of turns you need for every resource. I'm sure this idea will become obsolete later, but I can write it down. Ideas. And the idea is compute turns required to create every resource. To compute their cost in time. Blue needs half a turn. Green needs half a turn to create blue plus turn to create green from blue. So blue is half, green is 1.5 and so on. And maybe I can use it to sort potions by time required to make them. And when I go to new league, the statement gets updated, there are new rules, it gets more complicated, plus my opponents get stronger, like in every game. Now I'm in wood league, wood 1, later it will be bronze. Let's continue reading the statement. Each round you can perform one of the following actions. Cast one of your spells, this means create resources. Rest to refresh all previously cast spells. Apparently I cannot always make them. This would modify the number of turns needed, so I will just erase it. This is an idea. Or brew a potion. You may also skip a turn with the wait command. I will never do it. I will always do something. Spells have a delta. 4 numbers, 1 for each ingredient tier. If I lose 1 blue and 1 green to gain 1 yellow, it will be -1, -1, 0, 1. Sure. This array of size 4 describes, if it was 5, 5, 5, 5, it would mean I get 5 items, 5 copies of each resource, each ingredient. Can you get time limit exceeded? I believe at the end they say something about limits. In first turn you have 1 second, in every next turn you have 50 milliseconds. Oh yes, if your algorithm is too slow, you will get cut. Your program will get terminated. For sure, also there is some memory limit. Once you have cast a spell, it becomes exhausted. You may not cast exhausted spells. Some spells do not consume ingredients, they simply produce new ingredients. The first one was like that, it created blue. Has a unique ID and can be cast with the cast ID command. Resting lets you channel your magic, rendering all exhausted spells available again for casting. Okay. Client order has a delta with 4 numbers, one for each ingredient tier, just like swapping resources around. Selling price is the amount of rupees you will earn by completing it. Client orders are queued up from left to right. Only 5 clients can fit inside the hut, so a maximum of 5 orders will be available every turn. The game ends once at least one witch has brewed 3 potions. This is also a change, and that's why it's highlighted in green. Previously it was 2 potions. Now the game is longer. Players gain 1 rupee for each tier 1 ingredient or higher in their inventory. Like, oh, at the end, fine. More like a tiebreaker then? Hover over a spell or recipe to see extra information. Yeah, I see delta, price, action type. Sure. Append text after any command and that text will appear next to your witch. That's some debugging method. Press the gear icon on the viewer to access extra display options. This quality and speed. If game is longer, then it makes sense to watch it in ×2 speed. Use the keyboard to control the action. Space to play pause, arrows to step 1 frame at a time. It works. Then I guess that if spell is gray, it means you cannot use it anymore. They keep using them. Then they spend 1 turn on resting, and then they can use spells again. And here comes my first hint for you. Always in such a problem, do easy stuff first. You can compute when exactly you can compute optimal path towards making some potion. You can rest optimally only when needed. But what I'm going to do first is just rest after every spell. Easy, rest after every spell to make all spells available again. And later I will switch to hard, rest when needed. Also make several spells, different spells, and only then rest. But always in such a problem, when you implement something complicated, and submission time doesn't matter, you can resubmit many times, do easy thing first, always. Please use English only. In the chat, use English. Input for 1 game turn. Let's see what the code does. It is while true, and all the things here are description of 1 turn. We read input. It's some number of available actions. Actions are to create a potion or to cast a spell. And then we print what we decide to do. This should also be described here at the bottom. Input for 1 game turn, 1 integer action count for the sum total of both sets of player spells and every available client order. Action count lines, 11 space separated values to describe game action. I don't need to deal with all of that because they read it here. There is a long line here for reading. I will just, whenever I need something, I will just get that particular value. Treat this as API. Just think that this API allows you to use one of those 11 values. You don't need to care about the order of them in the input. You see, I needed price of items, so I just used price here. I needed action ID, I used it here. So a string describes type cast, opponent cast, or brew. I will need struct for this for sure. The general strategy is trying some new simple idea, so improving your algorithm a bit, doing that some number of times, and then refactoring your code. I will do that in one big cycle. When I see that my code is a mess, I will do some refactoring. In particular, the current code is a mess, but I don't need to refactor it now because it's so short. I prefer to get to higher league and only then see how this will look like. Priced, index, I'm not going to read all of that. Output a single line with your command, brew, cast, rest, or wait. Constraints, available actions up to 100, price from 6 to 23. Doesn't matter. There are no overflows. So what is the easiest way to create some resources? One thing I can do is I can try to do a random action. Let's say this, then ID is action ID. I believe this will be stupid, and a lot of times I will do nothing because this action will not be allowed, but from time to time I will do something. Doesn't hurt to try. Playing code, playing code. Will my witch do anything? Oh, because she always tries to brew. No, I want to cast a spell. Was it cast? Yeah, cast. Now she will create some resources. Yay. I'm genius. This is the best I can do right now. Well, I need to start understanding this. Action type should be cast, not opponent cast. Should I already create a string for that? Later. Action type is cast. Later, because later I will understand more if this should be a struct or what. Is there a prize for this contest? I'm not aware of any. Maybe there is something? You can check on the problem statement, no, on the problem page, not this one, the one describing the challenge, and you can tell me. A t-shirt. T-shirt for sure isn't worth it, spending 10 hours to win the game or 20 hours, but it's all about fun. It's not that every day you can implement a bot for a game. If this is cast, let's see, maybe see if I can use it. Should I still randomly do stuff? What's the easiest I can do? Rest after every spell. Yeah, I am going to do that. Okay, let's think. If I want to grab anything, I should have a variety of resources. Getting a few of every type sounds nice. I don't want to now choose a potion and go for exactly this potion, because then if my opponent grabs it, it will be bad. I need to do some code for that, so better just create resources and then try to grab something if you have enough resources. Delta 0, 1, 2, 3. This is very important. And this is my inventory. Yeah, I need to keep this some kind of array, because then I need my inventory. Is it only for me, or first me then my opponent? Your data is always first. The amount of tier 0 ingredients should be number, not the amount. Okay. If this, let's create some very basic struct. Struct spell. There will be vector of size 4 for cost, and also, is there anything more? ID, of course. There is as well my inventory. It doesn't have ID, but it has an array. Well, my inventory isn't a struct, it's just the vector of those 4 ints. I need two things to add around vectors, so maybe it should be a struct, maybe not. If I have in my inventory, let's say, those counts 2300, and now the delta from some spell or doing anything is 220 plus 1, no, let's say 0 minus 1, 0, 1. I want from this to get 2201. So just add those two vectors. Sum of size 4. S of I is A of I plus B of I. Return S. Also, I should check if doing this is possible. Like if after adding any number would be negative, it means I cannot do it. For example, if something costs the second and fourth resource, then those will be negative. And if this is 0 and that's negative, I cannot afford it. I could check if adding this, if it gets any zeros. Maybe then I can return empty vector. Just let's create a Boolean function. Should I copy paste? I will refactor this anyway. If AI plus BI is smaller than 0, return false. Actually, not really a copy paste because I don't have S. Return true. This will check if I can afford something. Spell. Let's create. Let's keep spells. Only spells? Yeah, only spells. Spells, push back, spell of this ID, and the delta 0, delta 1, delta 0, delta 1, delta 2, delta 3. Like that. Then I read inventory. If I is 0, inventory is vector with those 4 values. This is boring part, what I'm doing now. It's not really, I don't need to think about anything. It's just boring. Okay, and now let's try to cast a spell that I can use. If can inventory and spell dot cost, then let's do it. Spell dot ID, new line, and break. So maybe like done. Whether I did anything. For now, let's say that I print weight. I need to combine this with resting from time to time. But let's now play my code. I want to do at least one operation. I think my program crashed. I didn't print anything. Need to change delta to sin, but I didn't see any compilation error. Should I see it? When to use wait command, when to use rest command. I will first use it after using every spell, but in general it should be when you want to refresh all your spells. Oh, and then wait. Wait command if you don't want to do anything else, but it won't. You can as well do something, but maybe your inventory is full, you cannot use any spell, and you cannot brew any potion. Don't you usually write read functions for struct? Yeah, but here I have 11 things, and only some of them I need in a struct. I will not copy all of that to a read. Also because one of those values only tells me that it's cast. Maybe I can create a struct for some entity, and then it has function read, and spell can inherit from that, but it's overcomplicated. It still has delta 0, delta 3 in read. Okay, then what? Why don't I see information? Oh, I have information about compilation errors. Okay, good. Let's debug. Not debug, let's fix the compilation errors. In reading, indeed, delta 0 is wrong. Thank you, Jim, or Gim, for noticing. Delta 1, delta 2, delta 3. Try again. $31. Sure. I cannot here put in brackets 4 because that would be a constructor, right? And that's forbidden. I did a single operation. That's good. Then I attempt an invalid action. Spell 71 is exhausted. Makes sense. Can I, from input, detect if I can cast it right now? Yeah, castable. I can, instead of keeping something globally, I can just read that. So a spell will get additional attribute of can. Oh, I will just say and. Not really. I can here put if this is cast and I can cast it. On the other hand, I can also do is I can keep the turn number, or just a single boolean value should rest is false. If should rest becomes false, else do everything but should rest becomes true. This should be simplest. Every second turn I want to rest. And my inventory is full. What next? I can do them in the sequence. If I just do first spell, then second, third, and fourth, I will always keep creating the last element at the end. I don't want that. I want variety of elements. So let's use a spell only if it allows me. What's the easiest logic? Should we go for particular potion? Or should we go for random resources? What do you think is easier? Yes, that's visualization of the game. CodinGame always has a very nice visualization. Why am I casting instead of brewing? Because I need resources. I start with 3 blue resources and I cannot afford anything. Yes, I will need to cast, I will need to brew a potion, but only if I have enough resources. First, let's try to create resources. You should check which spells you have the list of and then try to make that one. You mean resources? Okay. Try to get a resource, but sometimes it will be directly impossible. My current inventory is 4 numbers. If this one is 0, this one is 2, 4 and 3. Okay, well then I will want to change this one to that one. So find, but if it's 0, 0, I cannot detect that I want to switch this for that one. I want 2 things. I want this cast to be possible, and also I want the fact that one of minimums increases. That's a nice heuristic. Yep. There is a function min element inf.begin.inf.end. Yay, I remembered correctly. I want several conditions. I want this to be possible, and it increases the amount of element increases minimum spell.cost, comma, smallest. Increases minimum. Was it this order or the other way around? No, I need both. No. Let's just do that in can. A is my current inventory, right? If A of I is smallest and B of I is greater than 0. Okay, and now I can later remove it easily, but temporarily. If you don't touch the smallest, then you're bad. I don't think this can fail. Yeah, then I don't need to find smallest here. Don't need you. Play my code. Can you say me a DDoS tool? I don't know, man. You can use Google. Don't DDoS people. Don't be bad. Be nice. Yay, I make quite evenly distributed resources. That's great. Next thing is to brew a potion. I make, let's say, at least 2 of each. Eventually I stop making because I try to make 2 blue and I cannot. But by this point I should be able to do anything. So let's try to also do if action type is, what is it, potion, brew, brew. Potions push back, potion of action ID and vector ID. I think I don't need the price, do I? It's not that I will right now care about the price. I will just try to get something that I can brew. A word brew sounds strange. Like you don't know how to speak English and you're trying to say bro. Brew, did you see that? Cost. Compiles? Seems so. Okay, do I want to rest? Well, if I can cast something, if I can brew something, they don't rest. So first, try to brew a potion. 2, rest if needed. And 3, create resources. Cast spell, so create resources. That's my current loop. In this order I do it. Try to brew a potion. For every potion, what do we do if we can afford it? If can, of inventory and potion.cost. But now we see that this function can, it shouldn't look at minimum element, doesn't matter. But if we can, then we put brew potion ID break. It would be nice here to go to the next turn with something. The function for a turn, I will make this into a function eventually, and then I will just call return here. But instead right now I need to create a boolean variable, say done is true, if not done, no, if done, then continue, but done is repeated. Yeah, exactly. Continue or break will only break me from this for loop. I want to here do something, so I would move to the next turn in the outside for loop. It's only possible with like go to or what I did here. Give me points. I don't get points. But I can force. Oh yeah, because of the smallest. Why there is for range 2 for getting inventory? Because there is also inventory of your opponent. You can right now, open the problem page. You can open the statement, and if you can read it. Like, even if you have just joined the stream, you can also go to that link from description and or just Google CodinGame Fall Challenge 2020. Bool. Let's pause here. Okay. This should be another function. Increases smallest element. Smallest is the smallest in inventory. Smallest Smallest in inventory. Don't need this. No, if you are equal to smallest in inventory and cost of I is greater than 0, then we return true. This didn't happen, return false. Again, this is to create resources with some heuristic. If I see that my current resources in inventory are like that, then I see that 1 is minimum and I want to use a spell that will increase 1 to something bigger. So in this case, it would transform something of tier 1 into tier 1, of tier 0 into tier 1. And no, can doesn't do it. If can and smallest increases, smallest element increases, one of them if there are many, inf spell cost. Typo, smallest increases, maybe, oh, it should be small, increases smallest. Both make sense. Do I program in some company? No, I don't. Give me points. Yes, did I say yes? That's Polish. Yeah, I wanted to say yes, I get points. I won. 27. Let's play again to see if maybe I have some bugs that I need to correct. But what we'll do, likely in a moment, is submit this code to run against real opponents. Meaning programs implemented by other players. This time I lost. Still, I don't think my program broke. It does what I wanted it to do. This will run for some time. What is this? It looks so cool. Okay, while my battles are running, let me again summarize the statement, or generally what happens today. CodinGame Fall Challenge 2020 is a 2-week competition where you write a program being here on the right, to play some game for 2 players. This is speed up, just normal speed. This is just visualization of game between me on the right and bot made by organizers of this competition. Right now I'm losing 9-18. I have some resources, and for them I can get prize. If I spend 3 green and 2 orange resources, I will get 13 points for that. Also, to get resources, I can use spells on the left. For example, in one spell I can create 2 blue resources, or I can exchange blue resource into green resource. Also, after you use a spell, one of those on the left, if you want to use it again, you need to spend 1 turn on resting. It's visualized by raising your hands and the blue thing. And I lost because I don't really care. I just try to create a resource that's some resource of type I don't have, or I have the least. Right now I have 2 blue, 2 green, 2 orange. So my witch tries to make yellow. It will make it from orange. I rest every second turn, and that's not optimal. I should make several spells and only then rest. And I don't even look at price of potion with my program. It just goes for potions and checks if something is possible to create. If yes, I do it. Right here, I would say that every resource has some difficulty of making it. Blue and green are easiest to do. Yellow is hardest. This thing with 4 green, maybe this is easiest to do right here on the board. If I was a human, I would go for this one. 4 green, and the score of 12. Other things, I think they require more turns to make. Yeah, but instead I go very, very slow. I create 1 of each type, then kind of 2 of each type. I can even be stuck, because if I get to 10 resources and I cannot make anything right now among available potions, my program will do nothing. There is a long statement here, but basically every turn you read from standard input description of what is available. It's instead of API, there is input output, and at the end in your program you print, for example, you print the fact that you cast spell of this ID, or you print I want to brew potion of this ID. Are spells similar in this league? Spells are in this league whatever you see on the left. I believe that in next leagues there will be also common spells, where you kind of fight between each other. I'm not sure. Got promoted to Wood 1. Congratulations. I also got promoted to Wood 1. Oh, I'm getting promoted to Bronze League in 1 minute. Apparently my stupid program is good enough to advance to the next league, and then we will get new rules. Leaderboard. Okay. I have 5th place, just above the boss. In every league, once you submit your program, it will be run against a lot of other programs, and you will be ranked in this leaderboard thing. If you are above bought by organizers, if you have more points, then you get advanced, you get promoted to the next league. And I got just above it. In 1 minute or so, I will be promoted. But still, I'm sure my program is very stupid. And in last battles, I see that I'm losing a lot of time. Oh, I know this guy. He's from Poland. Tomek. I'm guessing from Avatar. But also I'm losing. And remember that watching battles where you lost is much more valuable than those where you won. But watching battles is for later. You've made it to the next league. You can now learn new spells, some of which can be cast multiple times in the same turn. See the updated statement for details. I have now harder opponents, and there are new rules. You can now learn new spells. Client orders at the top of the queue can now earn you a rupee bonus. See, so I guess if a potion isn't made for a long time, eventually it will be pushed to the left. I want to see how the game looks right now. Oh, I see. I have those available automatically, just like in the previous league, but I can spend some time to learn one of those. Changing free orange to free green seems like a bad deal, because it's easier to get green. Oh, I can change. Okay, maybe this completely changes the order of things. But this matches. Oh wait, what is that? Tax count 2? Does it mean it takes cost to learn? Maybe. I'm not winning. I think the bot by organizers is smarter than me. Well, he learned, in particular, he learned the +3 blue, so already he's faster than me. Let's read all the changes. Some spells are now repeatable. They can be cast multiple times on the same turn. Yeah, blah, blah. Everything changed is in green. Learn a new spell from the magic tome. Cast one of the spells you have learned. Rest and brew. This is new. Learn. You may learn any number of spells during the game, but once you have cast a spell, it becomes exhausted. You may not cast exhausted spells. If it's repeatable, can be used multiple times on the same turn before becoming exhausted. Choose the number of times to cast a repeatable spell with cast ID and how many times. Okay. Repeatable, true, true, true. It seems that all of those can be used as many times as I want in the same turn. So 2 orange, I will not use it. Okay, rest after every spell. I'm doing this now. So this is, I'm doing this now. Compute turns required, yeah, that's for later. But also, like, later, use things multiple times. I'm not going to do it now. Small steps, small strategies. You don't want to implement 1,000 lines to only realize that something is wrong and you then spend one day debugging. So, for now, I will not care about repeatable spells. I will treat them as normal spells, just I need to print extra 1 at the end of the line to say that I'm using it once. Learning spells. The magic tome the witch sisters are using is quite volatile. Once a witch has memorized a spell, that spell disappears from the tome completely and is no longer available to the other witch. To preserve a sense of fairness, the witches have devised a system. They may only read from the first 6 available spells on each round. The first spell in the list may be learned freely. To gain the right to memorize any spell further along in the list, they must put down a read ahead tax by placing 1 tier 0 ingredient upon each spell that appears earlier in the tome. If you want to learn the 4th spell in the top, you must place a tier 0 ingredient on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Whenever they memorize a spell with ingredients placed upon it, they also acquire those ingredients. The excess is discarded. That's very good. So this means if I choose to learn that, I will get 1 blue as an extra. But also to learn anything not being first, I need to spend blue resources. Let's see my opponent learning something. I'm still here. They quickly learned. Let's pause. Century Spice Road is a board game. Correct. Lamo Master 2. Got the board game correctly. Almost always CodinGame games are based on something. And indeed the board game, this what you're seeing is based on, is called Century Spice Road. Wait, they learned this 5th spell. Oh, it's counting. You need to count from the bottom. Okay. I thought we go from the top. So then they decide to learn this, and thus they place 1 blue here and 1 blue there. Okay, got it. Learning something at the top requires spending a lot of blue stuff. And I understand. The sound is so loud. Really? If other people also think that the sound is too loud. Wait, do you have sound here? No, you don't. I don't even know if the game has sound. I wouldn't hear it. I don't hear anything. System sound high. Oh, CodinGame notification. Okay, sorry about that. Do you hear that? Beep sound will be not so loud right now. All good now? Computer sounds are way louder. No, they will not be anymore. You may deliver a potion for any clients within the hut, but the clients near the end of the queue may earn you an urgency bonus. I will not care. Later, consider bonuses. Right now I don't even consider price. So, you know, for sure I will not consider bonus. Remember, the most important tip, make everything easy, simple, and only then make adjustments. Once at least one witch has brewed 6 potions. Technical details. When both perform the same action, they both reap the rewards for that action. If both complete an order with an urgency bonus, 2 bonuses of that bonus level are consumed. Order in the book is random. The list of all possible spells is always the same. After learning a spell, the learned version of the spell has a different ID from the one previously within the tome. You can check out the source code of this game on this GitHub repo. You can find a list of all possible spells in the tome. I'm not going to do it now, but here's a very advanced tip. If you want to really excel at such a game, it isn't enough to just write code here on the right. What you should eventually do is either grab the repository or implement your own system to run it on your computer. So you could create different versions of the same program. It isn't really machine learning, but if you have some program, there will be some constants, like there will be some heuristic functions, and you might not be sure which version is the best. Then you want your own programs to fight against each other many times, hundreds of times, and it would be nice to make it automatic. And for that, you want to create your own environment for running all of that. And it requires extra several hours, but it's worth it in the long run. If you want to win the competition, or if you want to be like top 5. If you are just a casual programmer and you want to get to better league and maybe then get silver, gold, something like that, you're fine, just implement stuff here on the right. If you want to be a pro, you need to eventually switch to your own computer and create an environment there. We need code bullet on this, he will destroy it. Machine learning isn't a way to go in something like this. I wonder. Code Bullet is YouTube guy who creates some videos like making AI, or just making machine learning, using machine learning to solve a Rubik's Cube. Not really that. Okay, that was, I think, some algorithm. But playing Pong or driving cars through some tunnel with machine learning. Not everything can be done with machine learning. And if it can be done with machine learning, there are people who really participate in competitions and they are very good at machine learning. But I don't think it's the case here. He's welcome to try. But it's not that, you can use some library to solve this problem. Unless you do a lot of work, because you need to tell that program to play itself. But it's not that AlphaGo or anything like that was easy to make. Plus, the time limit here is very small, 50 milliseconds for every action. It hurts too. It makes all ifs, like stuff like this, and just thinking about logic, more viable than machine learning. So, and I'm happy about that, because then it's not a machine learning competition. It's about trying some algorithms, some basic logic, implementing your ideas. I think that's more fun. Did I finish reading? Okay. A witch cannot obtain an ingredient from the tome on the same turn as it is placed there by the other witch. If the absolute final spell is learned on the same turn, yeah, nothing here is important. It's more like, oh, in case something happens, I will just ignore it. Learn. Action type can now be learned. Tome index, tax count. I need to use tome index because I will pay with blue. I don't see tome index here. But I guess that tome index equal to 0 means this guy. Control F, tome index. It is equal to the red ahead tax to learn this spell. First spell in the tome. I don't see if this is 0 based or 1 based, so let's get to know it. Let's print to error output. What do I print? Tome index. And play my code. Then in console on the left, I will see those values. I believe there will be in some order from 0 to 5. Still running. Yeah, just from 0 to 5. They even appear in proper order. Do I want to use them now, or do I want to optimize for my spells on the left? I'm still doing the stupid thing. I'm still, after making a spell, I rest on the next turn, and that's very bad. I should make several spells in a row. Likely I will need both things, so let's decide about order. Do I now add more spells, or do I use this smarter? Well, using this smarter, I would just hard code. I would use exactly this order. I would say that, well, if I need to get orange, then let's use 1, 2, 3, and only then rest. In the long run, that will be stupid, very stupid, because I will have more spells, because I learned them on the right. Blue, 4 blue into 2 green. That's stupid. 3 green, 3 yellow. I think that's good. This one is amazing. 1 green and you get 1 blue, 2 orange. I think I will say that every resource, it has some value. Maybe blue is value 1, green 2, then 3 and 4. I will try to learn a spell that has big value, because, well, that sounds smart to do. Or should I already go for, okay, maybe this. I will use some heuristic to get proper spells from the middle. This is boring. Sorry about that. I remember my own tip, make things easy. Rest after every spell, now rest when needed. I already see that if I make any logic for only those spells, it will quickly become obsolete, because I will also have spells from the middle. So let's try, because that's easier to do, let's try to learn things from the middle, and for that I will use some simple heuristic. I will judge if a spell has a lot of value for me. Change yellow into 3 oranges. That makes sense. Actually, it would be nice to look at potions, but I won't do it in like today or maybe even next day of streaming. Today I will stream for maybe 1 or 2 more hours, and next time I will do it on Sunday. I plan two such streams today, sorry, 2 such streams this week, and then 2 more weeks the next week. And tomorrow you can check out Topcoder Open algorithm track. How is it called? Yeah, I think algorithm track, because I will be a commentator there with Lewin, Scott, and Petr. If you like competitive programming, you can watch that. Yes, using RGB keyboard will make you a much better programmer, for sure. Can you explain how the game chooses which player gets to brew a potion first or second? They do it simultaneously. If they both choose the same thing in the same turn, they will both make it. If learn. Let's run this again, because I don't see another choice of spells. I could open the GitHub repository, but let's just see one more set of that. Is it the case that those at the top are better, but more expensive? I think so. I think that this is useless. 2 orange to 3 blue. 1 yellow to 3 blue. I can make 4 blue in 2 turns with this. I need to rest as well. And blues now, they are more valuable, because I need to spend them to learn spells. Let's write down my idea. How to choose spells to learn. Let's say that blue has value 1, green is 2, orange is 3, and yellow is 4. Is that fair to say? How many turns do I need right now to make green? I need 1 turn to do this with blue. I do this and then rest. So in 2 turns I make exactly 2 blues. What about green? Do this and that, then you have, well, in 3 turns you have 1 blue and 1 green. Then if blue you make in 1 turn, then green is indeed 2 turns. Makes sense. Okay, that I believe that this scoring makes sense. I will evaluate every spell in the middle according to this, and I will choose those that have high score. I will just learn them, maybe also considering the fact that I need to pay a lot when doing something at the top. Need another struct. Struct, is it called a spell or something to learn? What is it in the input? For a tome spell. Tome index. Tax count. Should it just be a spell? Spell plus tome index. How do I call it then? Learn spell? Tome spell? I don't like this name. Remember how I said I will need to cycle between writing code, so making a mess, and then refactoring? Some refactoring will be needed. Cost and also tome index. This is not cost of learning it, this is cost of learning it. And this is just the cost in blues. If this is 0, then I don't need to pay anything. Also, I might need later to remember how many blues I get for learning this, because there might be some blues already here like that. But I will ignore it for now. Evaluate, or just value. Sum is 0. Sum plus equal cost of I. This is the count of that multiplied by I plus 1. The yellow will be counted here as 4, and so on. Return sum. This computes with heuristic the quality of every spell, how much I want it. It isn't perfect. It will do the job for now. If this, let's print. Okay. We have tome spell of action ID 0, D1, D2, D3, and tome index, right? Print TS value. I think that some values will be negative. Changing 2 orange into 3 blue and 1 green, that's not a good deal. Yeah, some things are negative. I will only grab those that are positive. Also considering the fact that if something is later on, then I need to pay a lot to grab it. But this 6 seems very promising here. And indeed, it is change 3 green into 3 yellow. That's a very good deal. Later I will make this function better by saying that I don't want a lot of resources of the same type. It will be hard to use them. I would prefer to have evenly distributed resources. Wait, is this a bug? What happened here? I think it's back. Let's run this again to see new numbers. I will start with if something is positive and you can get it, get it. I'm a bit afraid that maybe I will be stuck with something. Not really. Can I cast something if I already have 10 resources? Discarded. The excess is discarded. Is this the case also when I use a spell? But then they didn't define how exactly it is discarded, like which resources. If I learn this spell, then I use it while already having 10 resources. Will something bad happen? That's my question. I don't know. The spell value is actually calculated from blue is 1, green is 3, orange 2, yellow 4. Oh, really? But it seems counterintuitive right now because of this order. Is it maybe this is how prices of potion are calculated? 2 blue, so then green is 3. 9 plus 12. No, this is wrong. 8. Oh, 8 plus 9. Yeah. Then orange is 2. So this is 6. Plus 4 plus 4, 14. Indeed, you're right. Green, it's good to spend greens because they give you more money. Interesting. Remember later that they are repeatable. So -1 green plus 1 yellow is better than... Yes, I will remember that. But much later. Any heuristic function, it needs to evolve a lot during a game. And I might even penalize for, this -5 blue plus 3 green. I think I will penalize for that. I don't really want this to happen. I might want to say that if value is positive, like if a lot of resources are involved, then let's not use this spell. Let's not even learn it. Oh, tome spells. Push back. Vector of tome spells. Don't need you. Don't need you. With CRR I can print something to see it here in red. This is error output. Then read inventory. Try to brew potion. Not really. I mean, I will prioritize learning first. If it's beginning of game, learn spells. At the beginning of game, I will just use +2 blue and I will use learning spells. Only then all the other stuff. And my logic for beginning game is just as long as there is spell I want to learn. It might be dangerous because I might keep learning stuff for like 50 turns. That's not really efficient. So if it becomes an issue, I will make some ifs for that. Like I will limit the number of spells learned or the number of turns when I learn them. For tome spell, TS in tome spells, if TS value is greater than 0, then I want to make it. And what now? If I can afford it, let's just immediately do it. ts tom index smaller equal than my inventory of blues. Learn ts.id done is true, break. Okay, but if this is not the case, then say need blues is true. If this will be the case, if need blues, then I will want to create stuff of the first type. Do I do it here? This is, I do that and I need to rest. So instead, let's say that this happens, but I hope that it will not happen. Already here, if done, then continue. Again, would be better with a function where I can return from it. Try to brew a potion, but this shouldn't happen really. Rest if needed. Cast spell, create resources. If blue need, how is it? Need blues. If you're really a fan of music and you need blues, then what do? We find such a spell that it gives us blues, just the very first one. I don't think it has some particular action ID. Again, we got the notification. I don't know what it does. If you're the first spell, you're the type where the number of blues increases by 2, and only that. Spell dot cost if this or this. No, I do that only if I need blues, and also then I don't want to make anybody else. It needs to be different. Want is false. Whether I want is no different. If need blues and you're bad, then continue. If not need blues, need blues or this. Does it work? No. I spent a minute too long on this. If need blues, and if that's not the case, then continue. So now if this is true, then for sure I'm exactly at this spell. Otherwise, not otherwise, but this, if this happens, or this is standard situation and just this is good, then we cast. Good, good. Yep. Let's play code and see if my witch learns anything. I hope that it happens only at the beginning of the game. But yeah, it keeps learning. It learned quite a lot. It keeps learning more. I think we have an issue. On the other hand, my opponent didn't really score too many points so far. My witch just very much cares about knowledge. Yeah, it keeps finding something with positive value here. Maybe just every time. Okay, let's limit this thing. How do I limit it? With the number the number of spells I learned. I think that's good enough. Spells. What will be this number? If spells.size is smaller than 7, 6. Oh, I think she stopped learning. Finally. There's also extra points if it requires many types of ingredients, +1 for 3 types, +2 for 4 types. Okay, nice. Yeah, that might be useful though. If my program really gets smart, it will just look at values here and will try to plan according to that. But maybe eventually I will need just a list of possible potions, and I will go with that. Will I actually win this? I have something that changes 2 green into 3 orange, but I guess a lot of time passes until I get to green. I'm going to submit this program. It doesn't get stuck, so it's good. I lost here, but not a huge deal. Two things. One is play code again. I want to see another match. And the other, let's submit. And it runs against real players, plus it saves my code. And that's important too. I learned changing 2 yellows into that, I don't think it's very strong. But for me this has value 8 and this is 4. Wait, what? Why did they learn this? Orange, okay, this is okay, makes sense. -8 plus 9 plus 4, so 13. For me this has value 5. Is it time to do something smart about using spells? I can, right now the heuristic was for using a spell to cast, those things on the left, the heuristic was, first, if you can brew any potion, brew a potion, sure. Otherwise, use any spell such that one of those resources where I have the minimum number of them, it increases. This way I get the variety of resources. On the other hand, if I have a possibility to change like yellow to blue, no wait. If I already have yellow, but I don't have green, then I will not try to change to yellow. That's fine. Yeah, that's not bad. I think that the easiest thing to fix now is not to rest so much. Rest when needed. Let's do that. I have placed 130. I wouldn't expect any better. I will always choose the easiest stuff to correct, and right now it's this rest when needed. Also, apparently, in terms of potions here at the bottom, green is worth more than orange. I wrote it down here in terms of how many turns I need for it. Maybe I should say that this is 2 and this is 3, but it seems strange. Maybe 2 and 2 will work better, like 1, 2, 2, 3. For now I will leave it like that. It's not that I care that much now about scoring 10% points more. I just don't want to make very stupid decisions like resting every second turn. That's a lot. Basically I have half the turns because of that. Still I first learn, but now it isn't a big deal. Oh, I know. Let's learn a spell that has biggest value instead of just any of them. Yeah, I will do it first. Spell size is 6. Best tome spell. If value is greater than 0, best tome spell is max of itself and this thing. TS value, comma, TS ID. I also need the cost. Okay. Tome spell, best tome spell, and best value. Let's be consistent with case of coding style. How about storing the distance to each potion, by which I mean number of spells that are necessary to be casted before collecting sufficient ingredients? Yes, I need to do it in the long run. But I don't, right now I'm not able to compute that distance, so small steps. Maybe I will do it today. We'll see after I fix this. Fixing the resting is easier and more important. I need to do anyway it first to then compute those best distances to each potion. Yeah, right now every second turn I waste. Instead, maybe I can use several spells and then I will waste every third turn. I will get much more points this way. Many more points. Best tome spell is TS. If I can afford you, then print learn. And new line. Now, a moment ago I had logic like that. Go through those spells in the middle. If you see something, what was it? If you can afford something, just grab it. But if there was at least one thing with positive value for me, estimating by just the sum of values of those resources I get, minus those I need. If there's something like that, then I mark boolean flag need blues as true, and then I will try to get +2 blues. At the beginning, still I will grab 2 blue resources, then rest. Grab two blue resources, then rest. I don't think the very beginning needs to be optimized, and also it's not that I can do that much about it. It only makes sense if I have a cheap spell that gives me a lot of blue resources, but whatever. Okay, if this, then that, and continue, because I already made an action, else need blues. True. Play my code, and this time I hope that I will learn better spells. I grabbed something that eats 5 blues and gives me 2 yellows. And that's not really a good spell for me because I will never get 5 blues. I try to evenly distribute resources. But 2 green to 2 yellow, I might use that. But maybe before I get to this state, I will already brew some potion. Could I, a moment ago, use the special spell? 2 green. Right here. Yeah, right here I'm allowed to change 2 green to 2 yellow. My heuristic that minimum element must increase, the frequency of least frequency resource must increase. I satisfy that. But I just use the first spell instead. I could say among possible spells use the one increasing the value by most. But maybe instead it will be better to just look at available potions. Still, before that, let's fix resting. I hope that it worked. I hope that it worked, that now I choose the best spell to learn. Those two are not bad. Maybe I should use some debugs to see if it works. I very quickly learned them. Suspicious. What do? I get a lot of blues, and then I grabbed this guy. It's -2, no, -4, but +9. And 2, yeah, so it has big value. I can't believe that it has the biggest value. What do I do then? I learn this guy. -4 +6 +10, yeah, also it has big value. Alright, but maybe the combination of them is bad because with subtracting 2 greens, you can do this or that, then you need a lot of greens. This is not a good combo of spells. Resting. Let's change this. And how is it going here? Place 150. Quite bad one. If green is 3, orange is 2, then the tom spells become fairly balanced. Oh, is that the case? -8, and then +6 +6. This is +4. Then, well, this is -2 and +3, so still this is +4 and this is +1. Already that's a very big difference. This is +6, yeah. +4 versus +1. And actually this is strictly worse than the spell I have right here. Oh, that's a good point. I shouldn't learn spells that have value 1, because already I have a lot here that have value 1. So let's change this to best value is 1. Don't take. I want at least 2. Like that, if best value is greater equal to. It's a bit dangerous. Okay, but maybe I will not learn some spell and instead I will just be happy with 5. Can we do weight is equal count in a recipe? I don't get your question. Weight is equal count. Oh, I see. How many times it occurs here at the bottom? Right now I care more about how difficult it is to create it. I don't really care about the fact that yellow is everywhere here in every recipe. Kind of. It's enough for me that it exists somewhere. So no, I prefer to stay with how difficult it is to create otherwise. Let's fix resting. Yeah, let's fix resting. But yeah, I'm not fixing resting for quite some time. Rest if you need it. How do I change it? Try to brew a potion. Still, that goes first. Rest if needed. I grab all the spells. The first fix will be that when I cast a spell, I look whether it's castable or not. If spell dot castable, I need that as attribute. This is called castable. Spell of action ID, this, and castable. This is true if I can cast it, otherwise it means that I need to rest. Then when trying to cast, if castable, then do this, else rest. Now I hope if I need if I decide about 2 different learns in a row, I will not rest between them. No, I still have this part. Need rest. Did I have some function for need rest? Oh, it was a global one. Should rest. This gets removed. The numbering is bad now, 1, 3. Let's live with that. Does it compile now? Running. I think it compiled. Yeah, I do multiple. Just let's see if I'm not stuck anywhere. I rest. Use first spell, third, second, fourth. Do this. Third, second, first, rest. Second, first, third, rest. Good. I lost by a lot, so let's run it again and see if it's a coincidence or not. Maybe I messed something up. I used cosine similarity. I don't even know what that is. to decide which spell to cast next and whether or not to rest. Okay. Next thing about resting is if I always choose something to increase the count of minimum resource, right? Among those possibilities, let's prefer something if I can cast it. Let's scroll to the very end. Will I actually win? Nope. And also let's remember that at the very end, the score is increased by the number of resources you own. Or like the number of non-blue resources you own. Exactly that. I will add it to ideas later. Create resources at the end to increase final score. If you need blues or that. It's castable. Let's do 2 for loops. And not done. In the first iteration for all the spells, I will say, well, if you are castable, let's cast you. In the second round, I say, well, whatever, if I cannot do that. Oh, not really. I will just say here, if not done, then rest. Yeah, let's just here try to use a castable spell. If not, spell castable, then continue. And if now spell is castable and I want to use it, then this will be triggered. I never wait. No, instead of waiting, I rest. That is easier to do. This stays the same. This is for sure true now. Nope. What? Just one thing here. Those spells from the middle, don't they need a digit 1 at the end? Did I actually cast it at least once? Don't understand anything, but this seems really cool. Well, then enjoy the stream. Did I ever cast something non being one of the first 4? I didn't, right? Then it's not really smart that I spent first turns learning those. Because I think they are repeatable. Yeah, repeatable true. Repeatable true. So back, maybe the spell isn't repeatable. Let's add this thing. When we have you, so when creating a tome spell, when reading my own spell, then I need to remember that. Doesn't matter if I want to learn it because I'm not going to cast it now. castable and repeatable. And if it's repeatable, I need to print 1. If spell repeatable, 1. I hope to see a game where I will try to use it. I believe that earlier I would fail and there would be an error, like you're printing something wrong, you need to print an extra number. For sure I should try to use this. -1 green, +4 blue, right? In particular, this one is strictly better than this, unless it's forbidden to have too much in inventory. What is my logic? It goes go through spells. If smallest increases, so let's try to maybe sort the spells. Do spells have value? Only Tom spell has value. Let's say that you have exactly the same function, and now obviously it means that this should be the same struct, or inheriting from the same struct. I will sort spells according to the value. With what function? Return a value greater than b value. Oh, I wanted to hit, damn it, I wanted to hit replay in same conditions. Run. Oh. Error. I didn't close brackets. Sorry for small font size. It's just that there might be a lot of stuff printed here. I will make it bigger in a moment. Still bad. Too many brackets now? Too many brackets. It's easier in my own IDE. Also, thank you everybody for new follows. Welcome to the stream. I'm happy you're joining. Yes, I'm using those special spells too. First of all, let's see the final score. I won. I think that's for the first time in this league against the bot by organizers. But also I want to check if I don't do that, will I get an error? Replay in same conditions, just to make sure I understand repeatable correctly. Those spells I learned from the middle, they can be cast multiple times in the same turn. Wait, let's stop that. I think there was some error, right? This has ID 86. 86. The system doesn't tell me there is an error, so maybe they automatically treat that as, you know, creating one. You want a link? Oh, didn't I put it even in Twitch. Oh yeah, Twitch actually doesn't have description. Give me a moment. And let's see a new game. This is a new game? No, it's still running. Link. Done. Now Twitch, you can type !link and you will get link. YouTube, you can just get it from description. I learned those two things first, and from time to time I use them. I wonder if in this case it might hurt me that inventory is too small, so let's analyze it. But still, it's nice that I won. So submit, battles will be run, and let's analyze what happened if ever I have too many resources. This is dangerous. Okay, I brew a potion. Oh, maybe now. I have this, +4 blue, exchange, rest, exchange, and brew a potion. Okay, nothing bad happened. I want to see a game where I have too many resources. And either I get an error or like new resources are discarded. Oh, I think this is an error. Attempted an invalid action, not enough space in inventory for spell. That's actually great to know. The function can needs to be updated. New space is 0. New space plus equal a of I plus b of I. So you see, everything worked during 1 or 2 games, but then the third one crashed. But I knew that I'm not sure what happens if I exceed 10. I wanted to see what happens. Well, error happens and my program does nothing for the rest of the game. New space plus equal that. Return whether new space is smaller or equal to. Replay in same conditions, and this time hopefully I'm not stuck like at 1/5 of a game. Yep, this time we see a lot of blue dots here. They denote me making a new potion. I can still be stuck if I don't see anything. If I don't see any spell I can make, but that will be rare or impossible, I hope. If I see it, then I will think about it. At the end, for a long time I had so many resources and I couldn't make anything, because the potions are very strange right now. One potion requires 5 orange. Or 5 yellow. I will never get them. And we will see that often at the late of my games, because often my resources are quite evenly distributed. And I have just corrected this, right? So I will submit again. Battles. I have placed 150, but it's only 30%. I hope that I can resubmit like that. Yeah, battles in progress 0%. What's up, chat? Thoughts, suggestions? While waiting for this result, I will read the chat for some time. Maybe you need special items. Well, I should look at this while planning my moves. I don't do it now. In my ideas, rest after every spell. Okay, this is done. Rest when needed. Done. Done. Compute turns required to create every resource. That's still to do. Those are ideas, so I will not use later. Use things multiple times in the same turn. I don't need so many resources, so that is not important. Consider bonuses. Right now, I don't look at prices at all. That's important. But if the prices are reasonable, then I don't need to look at it. I will consider prices and bonuses only when I start planning and I will choose which potion I go for. But then also I need to know how many turns I need for that, and this will be some kind of planning. Maybe DP. If I have current state of my inventory, then in particular it can be described as DP of ABCD, where ABCD is number of each, the count of each resource. Then I can check which spells, I can consider which spells I will use, and then I will get to some new state. So once I already have those spells, I can just iterate. Let's say let's use subset of them and then rest. I know how many turns it requires. It sounds good. Maybe I will do that next. Maybe you need special items like to clear your resources or switch them to another one. No, for any fixing bug issue, I will do it if indeed it often happens. If something isn't an issue or it just happens once every 50 games, for now, whatever. Maybe later I will have another solution that anyway doesn't have the same issue. Is it a competition or can I join whenever I want? Both. It is a competition and you have around 2 weeks to participate. You can join at any moment. You will start at the lowest division. It's called Wooden 2. Right now I'm in the 3rd league, Bronze. It's Wooden 2, Wooden 1, Bronze. I'm not sure if right now Silver exists. I hope so. Is it hard implementation to look at what? At result? I'm not sure. I don't get your question, Baxi. Maybe it would be cool to see some defeats to get some idea from others. I have still so many ideas for what to do. Well, actually, even here, I have a defeat. But yeah, let's check leaderboard. In the top there is this guy, and I want to see his matches. Can I do that? Sure. No. Okay, last battles. Can I see matches between people in the top? I think it used to be the case. No, I don't work at Google. I don't understand why people keep asking that. I have 77th place. If I get to the top, then their matchmaking system will often put me against people in the top, so then we'll see more interesting matches. But let's see this one, for example. I lost. My opponent also learned stuff. he learns a lot. Maybe I should learn more spells. Wait. Why do they disappear? What's this? Repeatable true. Okay, so not everything is repeatable. But does it mean it's one time only? 8, 7. I want them to rest. No, okay. It's just, if you have a lot, then apparently visualization hides whatever is not possible. So let's consider this possible book. Yes, it is. Yes, it is possible. Yes, possible. But I think everything is alright with my solution. I just keep in mind that not everything in the middle is repeatable. Some things are not. When printing, I don't even print that, but I already understood that it doesn't matter. I don't get an error. Press full leaderboard on last battles. Like that. Then last battles, what? Oh, yeah, like this. Did they ever lose? You are a plane and I want plane to lose. Show. Thanks for help. They learned a lot. Really a lot. I think I will increase my number of spells I allow myself to learn. Maybe I should also care about the fact that some of them are expensive. That's just 2 turns. Eventually I need to do it. But the whole heuristic function to modify, to evaluate a spell will change later anyway. I believe they learned some unnecessary stuff. -4 blue, +2 green, or I'm not sure it's good. But it's only 2 hours, or for everybody 3 hours into the competition, so it's not that people are smart. Everybody's bot is right now quite stupid. You cannot do better in such a short amount of time. How long the competition lasts? Around 2 weeks. What was I going to do? DP? This requires a lot of coding, right? Oh, well, yeah, I first think more spells. Where is the 6? 7 or 8? Chat, the first person to tell me I will just use this value. 7 or 8? 8. Okay, done. Oh, actually, it seems everybody agrees on 8, maybe. And I said earlier, the advanced tip, that you need your own environment to compare different codes. If you have like 20 different versions of your code, make a tournament for them. Oh, my face shouldn't be here. Oh, let's go full screen. Because then if you have a lot of versions, you can very quickly choose proper parameters. Right now I have just single parameter here, but also later some heuristic function will change. I will say that maybe green is worth 2.2 and orange is worth 2.7. I will try to adjust those values. It's better if I can run something and in 10 seconds get results. How good a program is. If I hear submit every time, I will need to wait many minutes for results. So I will only be able to check like 10 versions of my problem in let's say 1 hour. Good luck, Larhist, in your CS course. Learn something. Magrop you can watch on YouTube at the same time for... Oh, does it work? Yeah, it works. You can watch on YouTube for lower quality, lower resolution. Let's do some thinking. If I do DP, do I do it every turn? What will be the complexity of my DP? I will, I guess, try to get to just any potion. Just for every potion, I will compute the time needed to get there. Not really, I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to compute turns required to create each potion. I will just always go for the one I need shortest time for. What place do I have? 45th. About the speed of this. The number of states is limited by 10 to 4th power because it's up to 11. It's up to 11, up to 11, up to 11, but most of those states are impossible because it's just the total inventory cannot exceed 10. To compute the number of ways for that, well, I can either say that it's a bit smaller, so let's assume that it's around 1000 instead of 10,000. But in fact, the number of possible states can be computed with binomial coefficient. You can read on that more if you want. Binomial coefficient. It will give you an exact formula, the number of combinations or something. How many quadruples there are, ABCD, such that their sum doesn't exceed 10. But it should be around 1000. I think it's a good estimate. For every state, what will I do? I can iterate over subset of operations to do. Then it would have complexity 1000 times 10 at power 8. If I have 8 spells. Can I do anything faster? Can I do it only when I start planning? Response time per turn 50 milliseconds. I wonder if I do some turns fast, then do I have more time for the next turn? I'm afraid that this might take more than 50 milliseconds, but it might be okay if I only do it once every 10 turns, because then I plan which potion to go for and then just execute my plan. But I'm thinking about a faster approach. I could also simulate my program, try to do random operations, use random spells, and just try it 100 times, each time random order, and see if choose option best for you. Consider 100 possible future outcomes, choose the one where you get to a potion fastest. This obviously assumes that our opponent doesn't get the same potion before us. You cannot use Twitch comments on YouTube, sorry. You can pre-compute your plan and extend it a bit every turn. That's way too complicated. No, I'm not going to do that. Also remember that this will get refactored many times, and I will have more ideas in the future. For sure, I don't want to make something complicated right now. Item value is the rupee and the weight is the number of turns to craft the potion. Yes, it is a knapsack problem, just that there are 4 dimensions of that knapsack, because it's not that blue resource and yellow resource is the same. It needs some number of 4 types, and then it's knapsack with 4 dimensions, like this. The initial spells are very special. They allow us to create, using prefix of them, they allow us to create from blue something like orange or yellow. This is an interesting spell. Will I grab it? No, I didn't. Eventually I did. But I lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I made 6 potions. My opponent made only 4. But I think they just chose potions that pay more. They only learned a single extra spell, the one with yellow. Yeah, I don't really have to analyze this. I know what I need to do. You should spend a lot of time analyzing matches when you don't know what to do. Just join the stream. What's the problem? Check out the link. I can do some summary again in a few minutes. The stream is we are 2.5 hours. I will stream only for half an hour more. So let's keep that in mind. Okay, for the last time I will tell you the rules of the game, what's going on. CodinGame.com, once every half a year or so, organizes a game tournament for bots. You're given a problem based on usually a board game. This is also based on a board game. And you need to write a program that plays that game. In this case, the game is about 2 witches. So I control the left witch, some other player wrote a program that controls the other witch, and at the bottom we have list of potions we can make. Here is your inventory. I right now have 3 blue resources. If I have 3 blue and 2 orange, I can spend that to create a potion and it will give me 7 gold, or 7 rupees. At the end of the game, you want more points, more gold than your opponent. Plus, also to create resources, you use spells. Spells are on the side, and also you can learn new spells from the middle. So my strategy is at the beginning to spend some time for learning spells from the middle. I learn up to 4 new spells, and after that I keep creating randomish resources, and if I see that my current resources, they allow me to buy something, I do it. Right now I don't even smartly choose which potion I'm trying to make. Just randomly make resources to make it quite evenly distributed. Grab any potion. And I'm thinking how to easiest do planning. Planning will be once I already at the beginning learned some spells and already have fixed set of spells on the left, then I can do knapsack. I can plan my moves ahead to say that, oh, the minimum number of turns I need in order to get this potion will be, let's say, 10 turns. And it won't be stupid to just go for a potion that is easiest to make, but also I should care about its price. If I can easily make yellow resources, then the last one is great, because for 5 resources I get the price of 20. But actually I believe yellows are most difficult to make. Though we have a special spell here allowing us to create +1 yellow, so in this particular game, because this spell appeared in the middle and we both learned it, 5 turns are enough to do this. And I think my opponent does it. Yeah, my opponent just kept doing it, and they grabbed 20 points in 6 turns. That's very efficient. This 2 to 8th power is bad. Is it a t-shirt worth days of brainstorming in which you have done something more productive? I participate in most competitions without any prizes. Do you watch TV or do you play football to get a t-shirt or because it's fun? Solution, copy AI. I don't think we get access to the code of that bot. Even if that's the case, we need to be better than that. Let's try to do this DP, but I don't think I will have time to run it today, like to be able to use the DP. I can start coding. Recursive version will be easier to make, but it will be slower. Iterative DP is in general faster. I also need to remember that way to get to the final state. Are you planning on streaming tomorrow? Tomorrow will be a Topcoder Open stream. Did I mark it in my calendar? Yeah, I did. And I need to mark one more thing. Give me a second. Schedule. Yep. Today is CodinGame day 1. Tomorrow will be Topcoder Open semifinal 1. I will do commentary. It will not be on my channel, on Topcoder Open channel on YouTube. Then on Saturday, Lockout Finals. Maybe it will be streamed on my channel, I'm not sure yet. Then Sunday is CodinGame Day 2. That's the plan for this week. Every day I will stream, not necessarily on my channel. You can join the Discord to get updates and to be sure not to miss it. Here's the link. Yeah, DP is dynamic programming. Also, this should be updated. Weighted graph using spells. Yeah, but finding that shortest path there is the same as doing DP. DP is on states. You know, any knapsack is actually running shortest paths on a graph of states. It is faster to just think about it as knapsack. I think I need to do it recursively. Let's create maybe a struct for that. And maybe let's do it first on my own computer. That because this thing with DP will be a lot of code, and I can as well just do it in convenient for me IDE, then test it a little bit. That will be better. I have some, let's go with recursive solution. Int recursive. This is array of size 4, and this recursive solution should find the cheapest cost to get there. Cheapest to get there, or just whatever, dp cost, get cost of that. If this is the initial state, then we return 0. Every vector is of size 4, so it would be faster to use array like that, but I'm not that familiar with them. I learned how to use vector and I keep using vector. Maybe later, if I need to speed this up a little bit, I will switch from vector to array. If this, then that. Otherwise, iterate over spells. Spells. And for each of them, consider using it. Of course, we want to get to this state, in this DP. So here I will say from which state I would get there. Previous state is A. Previous state of I minus equal spell of I. If previous state is bad, then mark some Boolean flag. Not okay, continue. One more issue is that if I want to get to this state with 2 orange and 3 yellow, I need to remember that it's okay if I have more than that. Let's just remember that. Okay, if this, and also I need to remember about more than 10 items, I guess. Space is 0. If not okay, or total space is too big, because I'm only allowed 10 items in my inventory. Thinking about it now, isn't 50 milliseconds too small? Maybe you'll need to use some persistence to remember previous data, because it doesn't change much. Yes, maybe. 50 milliseconds, it's enough for complexity of magnitude 1000. Oh, sorry, you don't see it. But it isn't enough for 1000 times 10 to 8th, and I would like every time to iterate over a subset of spells to use. So that's the problem. Maybe I will learn fewer spells, and I will say only this happens. Or I will say that every time before resting I use at most 3 spells. Or some other heuristic. We need not only equal, but if for every item I check if start is... yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Caio Vieira. Sorry about hurting your name. If a of I is greater or equal... no, if it's smaller, then it's bad. Or let's create a function. If already covers, then return 0. If a of I is smaller than b of I, return false. This function checks if we can afford something. Can afford b if this is the current inventory. No. Wait, what? That's not it. The p should return cost to get here. So if start contains it, well, then true, but not really. If I detect that from state 1100 I can get to some potion in 3 turns, but my current state is 1200, it doesn't mean I necessarily can do this, because maybe I have too many resources. So here I want exactly a equals start. It's just that this dp for a vector it should return what's the number of moves to get to something like that. Or bigger. Yeah, I think that we need to do this, otherwise I will sometimes get above 10 unnecessarily. I need to say exactly that. But if potion is 2222, then I can run dp on vector 2222 to say when quickest I can get to this, but also I can say, oh, but what about 2322? Can I get to that quicker? In case it's too slow, I favor your idea to simulate some random spells and take the most valuable simulation. Yeah, but if this is fast enough, then you know, this will be optimal. Assuming that my opponent doesn't take the same thing before me. ++i versus i++ doesn't matter. Everything will be optimized into the same assembly code. Previous state. My best is minimum of my best. And TP of previous state. Wait, what? Oh, I should iterate over subset of spells to use. Otherwise, my current state, when I do actions one by one, turn by turn, the current state is my inventory and what spells I can use. So then the number of states would get big. Then the number of states would be 1000 times 2 to 8th power. That's a lot. I don't want big memory, also that will be slower. No, instead I want not many states, and transitions from every state, I will consider that many. So for every subset of spells, then also it's important in what order I use them, because maybe some order will be impossible. Damn it. Yeah, that's not... I will not do it in 15 minutes, and I don't want to spend more than 3 hours today. I will be back on Sunday though. And if I'm back on to this on Sunday, I will just do it iteratively to make it as fast as possible. Though it will be hard because the order of things isn't obvious. Normally in DP, if the counts of stuff only increase, then you make a for loop from, let's say, 0 up to n. If you know that transitions are only from smaller a to bigger a. Here it isn't that obvious. It becomes, if every spell strictly increased the number of resources I have, then it would be fine. I could do that. I went for a recursive version because if order for iterative DP isn't obvious, then that's the advantage of recursive DP. But iterative is faster. What place do I have? 60th. Yeah, so DP not today. Biggest to do, DP to find, to use spells optimally. Still right now I use spell just to say that my resources should be evenly distributed, and that's very stupid. That's much more important than anything else, but also more complicated. When I do it, also I will refactor my code, because right now it's ugly. There are two structs that are very similar, like spell and tome spell. They should be just the same thing. Other than that, it isn't bad. Maybe I should comment more. How does he get new ingredients? Are they random, or can he see into the future to check which ingredients he's going to get? I use spells to get ingredients. For example, you lose 2 green, you get 2 blue and 3 orange. But potions that will appear in the future after somebody makes one of those, they are random. Hello, Mr. Know-It-All. And thanks for the follow, Rufa Test. Haven't checked the referee yet. Me neither. If by referee you mean the code where they run this. If I do all the reasonable ideas I have, only then I will really watch a lot of battles, or I will think about exactly what is the code of like referee here. Yeah, CodinGame looks super cool. And it is quite unique. And it is free, so why not participate? Let's finish for today in a few minutes. That's my biggest to do. And I will do it on Sunday. It will take at least an hour, so it will be most of Sunday stream. Tomorrow, I guess it will be announced on Codeforces, the Topcoder stream, of Topcoder Open. Topcoder Open is a huge competitive programming contest, and right now there are finals. Normally they would happen in USA. Like last year and 2 years ago, I was there in on-sites, once as a participant, once as a competitor. It was Dallas and Houston, I think, twice in Texas. This time it's online, obviously, and I'm a commentator there. Okay. Follow me on Twitch, check out the Discord channel. You can also put suggestions there. And see you again with this thing on Sunday, in 3 days from now. Then also next Thursday. Just reached Bronze League, but man, seeing all those new features to implement made me take a break. Yeah, there is a reason why this contest is almost 2 weeks. It's actually 10 days, 10 and a half days more, because it's difficult contest. You need to implement a lot. But you know, you can write some heuristics. It's not that you need to do everything optimally to be high in the leaderboard. I'm sure that you can get out of Bronze League without this DP, just by smart ifs. But you know, this is trying to codify your logic while playing a board game. It isn't easy. Nobody said it's easy. How you guys can learn competitive programming? I even have how to practice page. Read FAQ in the description. You solve problems. Read editorials, read a book. Okay, programming. And for sure there will be a lot of people doing CodinGame. I don't see what was found. Zapak is an obvious choice. He's a very good streamer. But I will check the 2 smaller ones. And I'm going to rate one of them. Bronze League as well. In Python.
Alright, so let's see what happens now. Which one are we going for?
Bronze Week as well.
I can't tell what you're going for because obviously the print statement is not. Okay, you went for 10.
How is Zapak going?
And I am presumably going for 2. And I'm still this one, yeah, because of randomness.
I will tell you this. For sure this is a good streamer. So check out this channel. Good streamer. You can do it if you want, but I will rate this guy. He also talks, so that's good. And see you tomorrow if you watch Top Coder Open, and on Sunday or Saturday if you watch my other stuff.
Alright, let me paste it in chat as well.
Thank you for watching. Enjoy your evening. Say hi to Hextree. See you next time. Bye bye.